guys excited to unlock Hold Those Purple here? What about Rose Tico iconic overalls? Well, baby, this is gonna be the video for you guys today. Oh. All right, so a while ago in the past Road Ahead blog post, we got a little hint as to what was going to be the next form of progression for Galaxy of Heroes. We have Gear, Zeta, Omegas, all that fun stuff. But now we're starting to get what is called a relic system. And today we got our first little insight into what it's looking like. And we're gonna have to try to read between the lines a little bit, try to be cautious about this because gear progression is not a fun thing. And there is some good news in here. The good news is they said they're closing off all future gear levels for the foreseeable future. Who knows how long foreseeable future is, but I'm guessing probably won't see any Gear 13 plus anytime soon. Instead, they're going to be changing us into this relic system once you hit Gear 13. And the colors are kind of cool once you get there. You get this nice little neon looking effect on your characters. Now, Capital Games, we're going to read this in a second, but if you can make this glow in your roster, woo, that'd be pretty. All right, so the reason why I'm saying we got to be cautious because there's always a catch. There's always a caveat. Remember the Kyrotech thing? It's going to diversify your gear, which is true, but at the same time, it costs money and a lot of time to do so. We're not sure how we're going to get access to these relics here, but the point is they're supposed to amplify the power. I'm thinking like Zeta, maybe Zeta 2.0 level power increases. So here we go. Let's take a look and see what they're saying here. Get the words from the horse's mouth before I start giving you my take on this. Hi, Hollow Table Heroes. In a few weeks, with the introduction of our next progression system, Relic Amplifiers, we are closing off additional gear tiers for all characters for the foreseeable future after they reach Gear 13. So that's good. I mean, gear increases are the worst thing in the game. It's bland, nothing interesting, which is what they kind of talk about here. It's just a generic piece of gear to keep you going, keep you pushing, keep you updating your roster, keep you spending money just to keep your roster relevant. Instead, gear and future gear materials will be used to improve a character's relic, so you could still be using gear. We don't know quite exactly what piece of gear yet. We will also be kicking off a new round of changes intended to make it easier for players to reach higher gear tiers and access to the relic system. So good point number two. The good thing is they're going to give us ways to get the Gear 13 faster, because right now Gear 13 is either expensive or it takes a long time to get there. Just to farm the Kyrotechs, that probably takes at least a week or two if you're just doing like 50 crystal refreshes and ignoring everything else to get a full 50 or 100 pieces needed for the Gear 12 finishers. Now, I'm not too sure how I like this screen. So this screen we're seeing right here, Grand Admiral Thrawn, this is going to be what you see once you reach Gear 13, because right now, when you hop over to the game, let's pick a Gear 13 character real quick. Let's take Anakin here. Once you get here, you kind of get these ugly little icons that are just blank question marks. Basically, they're unprogrammed code for whatever gear pieces would fit in there. Instead, you're going to be getting this little thing right here where it looks a little bit more empty. Maybe they should add something a bit more dynamic. It looks very bland. Regardless, I'm nitpicking right now, but this is what you're going to see once you reach Gear 13. All those ugly gear icons I just showed you disappear, and you kind of get this, I guess, much simpler user interface right here. And as you see towards the bottom left corner, now you are going to see this relic item, which for Thrawn, it's a personal blaster. And I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to guess what this is going to be. I mean, we see a lot of colors here. I'm not sure if the colors are just there for just for your enjoyment, or if the colors actually mean something. Maybe you level up this relic, because right now it says 0. Maybe that means you don't have the relic, or it's level 0 for the relic. I don't quite know. There's so many questions. This post is an answer right now. They are going to give us some more hints and more posts going into the future. But right now, they think this is going to be a big change for the game. They've been considering this change for some time because, as I said earlier, and they are reiterating it here, gear progression system has been one of the biggest parts of perfecting your collection of characters in Galaxy of Heroes. And it's also a very regular point of vocal frustration. Oh, stun guns, they're hard to farm. Oh, stun cups. Oh, Carbantes. Oh, Kyrotechs. I mean, the gear crunch is an artificial way to create a demand. The Capital Games, they create the in-game economy. They control the supply. And obviously, when supply is limited, people complain because they want access to more of them, and obviously more free-to-play ways and more accessible ways. But at the same time, Capital Games relies on gear as a source of income, so it is a point of frustration. But still, just because they say that, I don't quite know if this relic system is going to eliminate the pay-to-play aspect. I feel like there's got to be some catch to it all. Gear has given us a lot of flexibility across releases, mainly to change and rebalance the power and utility of a large number of characters. As we saw, General Grievous, crazy monster, at Gear 13, but also to adapt to the game changing new raids, the territory battles, etc. And while the current gear system has offered a tremendous amount of flexibility, which it has, it's starting to show its age as a marker of status, power, and aspiration in Galaxy of Heroes. So, in freshening up the game's progression systems, we hope we can take concepts and routines familiar to longtime players and put a new spin on them. If you guys remember a while ago, they said these relic parts here, you could use like other gear pieces to create them. I'll find the post in a second to show you guys. As we see right here in the past Road Ahead blog post, you can use accumulated or massive quantities of accumulated unspent gear and materials that longtime players have piled up over the years in order to use and to enhance these relics. So perhaps, well, maybe the more gear you throw into this relic item, the better the relic item gets. Therefore, the more powerful your character gets. I can't even tell if this is adding any new stats or any new abilities. They said that some of these relics would add new abilities. It's hard to say right at this moment. We also have some long-term plans on how to make the system even more exciting to players and more sustainable for us to update and build on that we'll talk about later this year. It's hard to see how this will be exciting unless they tie special events, like mini legendary events for every single character. Like, I don't know, imagine going through a legendary event from Thrawn's perspective or something like that in order to acquire this relic. That'd be kind of cool. That would make the system a lot more interesting than collecting generic pieces of gear, then crafting them, slapping them on. If they made it more into an adventure to get these items, that would be more exciting. I mean, if they did that for gear, that'd be interesting as well. But right now, gear is just a boring and uncreative way of getting money out of people and getting you to keep your roster updated. And finally, we're really excited for the opportunity to make iconic items from Star Wars feel much more integrated into your character progression. As mentioned in the Road Ahead, the next progression system will be denoted by a unique iconic weapon and items for every single character in your collection. Man, I hope they add the purple hair for Rose Holdo. Our goal is for the process of reaching Gear 13 and unlocking this unique item to feel much more satisfying way of spending your time, perfecting your characters, rather than just adding another generic piece of gear. And I do like what it looks like when you add these relics to them. Portrait frames will change to match the alignment once you gain access to the character's relic amplifier. So how do you get access to this? Is it just you get the Gear 13 and you access it right away, or do you have to do something in order to get the relic pieces? And that do something is the part we gotta be kind of skeptical about, kind of like hesitant about, because that do something could involve some sort of pay to play thing, or maybe something even crunchier than the Gear Crunch was before. But it could be really exciting. And as you see, I'm guessing you're gonna have your Zetas over here to the left like we always did. Looks like they changed the artwork a little bit. And to the right, you see there's this blank little thing. Probably we'll see whatever the relic is gonna be fit in that slot right there. And Jedi Knight Revan has his over here. So they'll talk more about relics, their functionality and stat space, and how you upgrade them. Of course, there's so much up in the air. We see what it looks like, but we don't know what they're actually doing and how we get them in a series of follow-up posts. As with the introduction of mod slicing last year and the rollout of Grand Arena, we will be providing a lot of context and a lot of words, outlining our goals and getting a better sense of the feedback and needs of longtime players. Thanks for reading. So this is definitely gonna be like the most endgame thing. You thought Gear 13 was endgame? Oh no, buddy. It's gonna be these relic pieces. Obviously, they're gonna be so important. Mod slicing was huge for the game. Being able to get the 6 dots was crazy. And the way they changed mods, you can get even more speed out of your previously old mods. It was a big thing for the game. So I don't know if this is going to be Zeta level changing, mod slicing level changing, Gear 13 level changing, or even something beyond that, or maybe it could be something a little less transformative as those former things I just noted here. So we'll see how it comes out. I'm gonna stay skeptical, just kind of be hesitant, because there's always a caveat to things, as we saw with the Cairo text. But I also want to be excited. I want to be excited because this could be a new and interesting way to upgrading your characters, because upgrading your characters, the process of upgrading them isn't quite enjoyable, because you want to use the character right away, or you have to upgrade your character to keep them relevant, or else your Gear 12 Grievous is going to fall behind the times, or your Gear 12 Darth Revan or Malak. This might be an opportunity to make it more like a mini journey to perfecting your characters, and that, my friends, is what I'm hoping to see. Let me know down below, what are you thinking what the relic system is going to be all about? Do you have your concerns kind of like I am, where you want to be excited, but you kind of got to be careful, because we don't know what's on the other side of the fence? Like if you did enjoy it, comment down below, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And I will talk to all of you lovely people in the next video. Peace out, everyone.
Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, 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 down. Party Richter, Party Richter. Son of a bitch. Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, down, down. Shut up. Come on! Get down or I'll put you down.